away a $25 gift card to Cabela'S. There are 2 rules to winning. What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is DuPont. You can follow me on Instagram at DuPont. Click the link right here, take you to my YouTube. You see all my content and learn more about me through social media. Today we're doing a how-to video over how to age a white-tailed deer. Now, I get this question like every day. What's the age of this buck? This buck looks 8 years old, 7 years old. Why aren't you shooting him? What is the age of this deer? I get it all the time. And I wanted to answer it today on this video. I know I should have posted this video, like before deer season started, not a week after it's ended. Because now you can't use my tips and tricks because the season's over, but it's still good to know in general. So I want to show you a couple examples today, all from my deer on my ranch at Whitetails, followed on Instagram and YouTube right now. I really appreciate that, but they're all animals from all whitetail from my ranch. So I know the age of them. I've watched them, 2, 3, 4 years ago and watched them age. So I know the exact age of these deer, so I'm not giving you, false information. Before we dive into the video, I want to go over the 5 things I look at when aging a whitetail. Number 1 being, is their hock black on the back of their leg? The darker it is, the older they are. Number 2, their back. Is their back straight, or does it have, more of a dip into it? If it's straight, they're a younger deer. If it's got a dip into it, they're a mature deer. Number 3, I look at is their front and back legs. The shorter their legs, the stubbier their legs, the older they are. They've got long, tall legs, they're younger. Number 4 is I look at their nose and their eyes. Is their nose and nostrils, is it how it come to like a point? Is it pointed at the end? Really narrow and long. That shows you a young whitetail. If it's got more of a round kind of oldish face to it, it's not much white, more grayish around the eyes, it shows you mature whitetail. Number 5 is how they move and how they interact with other deer and just the environment around them. Are they slow movement? They got a little wave to themselves. Are they stumbling over their feet? Or they full of energy? They seem like they're interested in a whole bunch of things. That can tell you the difference between young and an old deer. All right, so we're gonna get right into it. First buck we're looking at, his name's Mortimer Jr. His father, his name's Mortimer. He's about 12 years old, but this is Mortimer Jr. He is a beast. Just take a look at him. First thing I look at is his hock. And yes, it is black. Second thing I look at is his back. Look when he looks up. He's got a straight back to him, so that shows less of a maturity. Look at his legs. I wouldn't say they're too stubby. He's still standing pretty tall. Neck and his face, he still has, that real narrow nose. And his eyes don't look real droopy too much. But after going through those 5 scenarios, I would age this buck at 5.5 years old. Example number 2, we go to a big, wide 10-pointer. He's the one in the back right. Even though his hock is white, it's not black, you can't really go off the hock as much. Because it all depends on what type of year it is, if they're in the rut or not. This is obviously not in the rut when I took this video, as the vegetation is just super green around him. I think it was October. But anyways, look at his back. He's got a slight dip, but not much. Look at his legs. He's still got some tall legs on him. Not real stub-like. He does have a fatter neck on him, as well as a kind of a stubbier nose, which is starting to show some age, as well as you can see around the eyes. They're a little droopy. And his rack. His rack's giant. And to get a rack like that on a ranch, you at least have to be 4.5 years old. So from looking at this video, I'm going to age this buck at 5.5 years old. Now, the way we age bucks on our ranch, I want to take a break real fast, is we always give them the benefit of the doubt. If I think that buck's 6.5, I'm going to say he's 5.5. If I think a buck's 4.5, I'm going to say he's 3.5. I always like to give the deer the benefit of the doubt, so I always age them a year younger, just to give them their full potential of what they can actually be in the long run. Example number 3. Here's a picture here. This is a buck we called ATM. First thing I look at is his hocks. Can't see his hocks in this picture. Second thing I look at, his back. He's got a dip in his back. That shows you some maturity. Look at his neck, and his eyes, and his nose. His neck's real big, his eyes, they look old. He's got that big fat, nostrils, showing some maturity on him. Look at the brisket in his front legs. He's got some heavy brisket hanging off there, and his legs look real stumpy. That shows maturity. That buck is old. So from looking at this one picture here, I would age that buck at 7.5 years old. So for our ranch, we would age him at 6.5. But he's a 7.5-year-old deer. He is trophy buck, and that is a buck that we would shoot. He is fully matured. Key factor to aging deer is when you have two deer right next to each other. You can really see the difference in body size and just a whole bunch of different little characteristics between the two. Can really help aging a deer. So for this picture, you see right away that the front deer is obviously older than the back deer. You see that front deer, he's got that black hawk. He's got a little bend in his back. He's real stub-like on his legs. Big bulging neck with, you know, kind of fat nose-like. Old sign that he's a mature buck. Look at the deer in the back. He's got those real short legs. He has a straight back. His nose is pretty straight and narrow. That shows a younger deer. His neck isn't wide and bulging. That deer is probably 2.5 to 3.5 years old. With all those mature characteristics, I would age him at 6.5 years old. So those are the 4 or 5 tips I look at when I'm aging a deer while I'm in the stands. So I usually just go through my head. Look at it. Look at his hawk. Look at his back. Look at his legs. Look at his neck and eyes. How are they moving? You know, I kind of just process the steps in my head to help age a deer on the spot. Because sometimes, you know, you might have a minute to be able to age his buck before he's skedaddled. So you don't got much time, so you gotta know what you're doing. Now the other question I wanted to bring up was, when is it a good time to shoot a mature buck? Age-wise, no less than 5.5. You got to give these bucks times to reach their full potential, because I mean, they will really shock you what they can do at 5.5, 6.5, 7.5, and even 8.5. We have a couple bucks that are 8.5, 9.5 that score over 200 that are still, you know, producing every year. So you guys gotta really let these guys age and show their full potential if you want to see big deer wherever you're hunting. Part 2 to when you should shoot a mature deer is in January, late December, and then the rest of January before the deer season's over. If you're shooting a mature deer or big buck in the velvet season, October, November, early part of December, you're not letting these guys breed. You're not letting them get their genetics out, and you're losing high quality offsprings from these bucks. Too many people are doing that, and it really hurts their herd in terms of having great genetics on your ranch. If you wait till after they breed in December, you wait till after they breed and then shoot them, you already got their genetics on your land. Just a quick tips to when you should shoot a mature buck, that being in January. Before we wrap this up, I want to give a giveaway. I'm giving away a $25 gift card to Cabela'S. There are 2 rules to winning. You have to subscribe to my channel, @DuPont. I am checking. And then you have to age this buck right here. His name is Mr. Webb. That's all the information I'm getting you. However old you think this buck is, put it in the comments below, and I'm going to pick the winner from that. So how I'm going to pick the winner is, pretend this buck is 20 years old and there's, you know, 50 people that say he's 20. I'm going to get that group together of comments. I'm going to scroll through it with my eyes closed and just click one. And whoever I click on is the winner. We get to have the age right, of course. But I'm going to do that on a video either tomorrow or the next day. So watch that video. If you want to win, you got to watch the video to see if you get picked. So you better watch the video or you're going to lose $25 to Cabela'S. And yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Thank y'all for watching this whole video. Now you guys got a chance to win a gift card. And stay tuned for that video either tomorrow or the next day where I reveal the winner of the $25 gift card to Cabela'S. Peace!